Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Sunday. Good morning, America.
We cannot wait for the dads of TikTok. Good morning, America. It is good to see you. A very happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day, Whit.
Oh,
yes,
thank you so
Happy Father's
much.
Day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All the dads out there for sure getting some love today.
Absolutely. Stephanie Ramos on the desk with us. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much, friend.
There's a lot of news happening right now, including Vice President Vance arriving in Switzerland overnight for peace talks in Iran. The latest on that in just a moment here.
We're also tracking the busy holiday travel day, the Juneteenth holiday, in addition to Father's Day weekend, bringing massive crowds to airports, with the TSA warning that today could be one of the heaviest travel days of the year.
But we begin with your Father's Day forecast with severe weather and flash flood threats in the picture today. Meteorologist Samara Theodore is here with what to expect. Good morning, Samara.
Good morning, Stephanie. Take a look at this video. I mean, it's just really damning looking at how much rain has fallen in Rochelle, Texas. These are people's front yards, making it difficult to even traverse roads, turning into riverways. Scott City, Kansas, we had lightning, we had hail, tennis ball size hail in parts of these regions. And the thing is, we're not done yet. So here's a look at your severe weather outlook for your Sunday. On this holiday weekend, what we've got are a line of storms ripping and running straight through parts of the plains in the Midwest. As a result, we have a level 2 out of 5 damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornadoes for anyone living in this yellow color here from Wichita to Springfield. But another imminent threat is that of flash flooding. If you live in red, you're at a level 3 out of 4 for significant risk of flash flooding. We're going to see storms training, meaning that these storms will be hitting areas, the same area multiple times. So prepare for that and make sure you have those alerts ready to go and maybe a rain check plan. That's a look at the forecast. Whit, back to you.
All right, Samara, thanks so much. Now to the holiday travel weekend with millions of Americans on the move. A busy day in the air and on the roads. ABC's Andrew Dimbert is at Newark International Airport with what we can expect. Andrew, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Whit. So the summer travel rush is on. Airports across the country could see some of the biggest crowds of the year today. In fact, the TSA expects to screen more than 3 million people to pass through security checkpoints today, a level that would rival Thanksgiving. The crush of travelers has been building all weekend. The TSA says it screened just under 3 million people Thursday, followed by another nearly 3 million Friday, and heavy volumes Saturday as Americans took advantage of the Juneteenth holiday weekend. Here at Newark and really airports across the nation, officials are urging passengers to arrive early, check their flight status before leaving home, and make sure their bags don't contain any prohibited items that might slow them down at security. And it's not just the airports feeling the summer surge. Millions more are hitting the roads this weekend. Transportation experts say, generally speaking, early morning hours offer the best chance to avoid the worst congestion, while midday and late afternoon can bring heavier traffic as holiday travelers start to head home. But for those flying today, the message is pretty simple. Expect longer than usual wait times at security lines here at Newark. We're seeing the lines start to build a little bit, and just try to get to the airport a little bit earlier than usual. Whit.
And Andrew, on this busy weekend, officials are also investigating an incident in Boston. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so an air traffic controller put 2 planes on a potential collision course at Boston Airport. A Delta flight actually had to abort its landing and execute what's called a go-around to avoid an American Airlines jet that was departing from an intersecting runway at Boston Logan International. Take a listen to some of the air traffic control audio.
American 3161, where you going?
You cleared us for takeoff, 3161.
Both planes landing safely, and the FAA is now investigating. Whit.
Okay, Andrew, thank you so much for that info. Stephanie?
Now to the breaking news overnight on the U.S.-Iran peace talks. Vice President Vance arriving in Switzerland for negotiations. As nations in the Middle East watch closely, ABC News foreign correspondent Britt Clennett is in Israel this morning with the latest on that. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Stephanie. Yeah, the first high-level direct talks between the U.S. and Iran are set to begin in Switzerland, even as persistent fighting in Lebanon threatens to derail the whole diplomatic push.
This morning, Vice President Vance arriving in Switzerland, joining U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for a new round of negotiations with Iran today. The high-stakes meeting coming amid a fragile agreement between the two countries that has been threatened by the conflict between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon. At least 28 people have been killed in Lebanon since the ceasefire deal, according to the Lebanese state media, and at least one Israeli soldier has been killed, according to the IDF. Israel saying it targeted Hezbollah in response to incoming fire, Hezbollah accusing Israel of striking first. With the fighting in southern Lebanon escalating, Iran announcing on Saturday that it's shut the Strait of Hormuz, citing the strikes and the blatant breach and violation by the United States of the first clause of the ceasefire agreement, which calls for fighting to end on all fronts. But the U.S. is denying the claim that Iran is in control of the strait.
The straits are now open. The Iranian military is now destroyed.
CENTCOM reporting 55 merchant ships and 17 million barrels of oil travelled through on Saturday. It's still unclear whether that vital waterway is open. Amid the uncertainty, President Trump declaring the U.S. will not tolerate tolls on ships passing through the strait unless they are imposed by the U.S. if the talks fail. But the signed deal says Iran will allow ships to pass at no charge for 60 days only. Both sides have that time to hammer out the deals of the agreement, with Iran's nuclear program in full focus. Vance outlining his hopes for the talks before taking off for Switzerland.
I think we're hopefully making progress on the nuclear issue, make progress on the Lebanon ceasefire issue. Those are the two big things that I think we're going to be focused on.
Well, the real diplomatic work, it starts now, and it's time for the sides to debate that major sticking point of what happens to Iran's stockpile of enriched nuclear material. Gio?
All right, Britt Clennett, thank you so much for your reporting. Let's go ahead and bring in ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl, who's going to be hosting This Week later here on ABC. John, it is good to see you, but as Britt just reported here, Vice President Vance is in Switzerland. What are the stakes for these talks?
Well, this is an opening round, Gio, and the vice president is there. We expect that within the next hour or so, he'll be sitting down with the Iranians. That part hasn't started yet, as far as we know. This is really where all the difficult issues have to get resolved. The memorandum of understanding got into no detail about what would happen with Iran's nuclear program. That was the reason for the war in the first place. So it's starting at a very tenuous moment with the Iranians backing out for a bit because of what was happening in Lebanon and saying that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. They can't even agree on whether or not the strait is open. So expectations are not particularly high, but certainly the stakes are.
So the stakes are high. So how easily could the peace process really fall apart because of that conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon?
Well, it's astounding, Gio, when you consider that during a 48-hour period, you had the ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel broken and reinstated twice, back and forth, back and forth. So look, at any moment, that can jeopardize the peace talks. Remember, neither Israel nor Hezbollah are signed the memorandum of understanding, but both of them effectively have the ability to blow it all up.
We have about 20 seconds, John, but I want to ask you, if the talks fail, what could be the next move for the Trump administration?
Well, there's two options. One is to say that, look, we diminished Iran's military. We're just going to go along and basically at an uneasy status quo. And the other option, Trump has suggested, they could resume the war. But he has also said that if the war resumes, we could face a global depression. So not a lot of good options.
All right, and we always appreciate your insight on a Sunday. John Karl, thank you so much. And tune into This Week later. John interviews Energy Secretary Chris Wright and former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice about the fallout surrounding the U.S. and Iran's Memorandum of Understanding. Whit?
Gio, now to the investigation into a police shooting in Los Angeles. Officers opening fire on a woman's dog after she says she was only celebrating the Knicks championship win. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is in L.A. with the latest. Jacqueline, good morning.
Wait, good morning. There is growing outcry over how this dog was killed. Even the Los Angeles mayor speaking directly to the police chief, demanding a full investigation and accountability for any alleged wrongdoing. And just a warning for those at home, this may be difficult to watch. This morning, growing outrage nationwide after the release of this new body camera footage showing the fatal shooting of a family dog wearing a Knicks jersey. Last Saturday, during the Knicks championship game, a Los Angeles neighbor says she heard a woman screaming from a neighboring apartment and called 911 requesting a wellness check.
She's been screaming, "Oh my God," for 20 minutes, like something really bad happened.
LAPD officers responding, seen here knocking on her door.
LAPD.
The homeowner appears with her 2-year-old dog Jameson, a golden retriever, St. Bernard and poodle mix. The homeowner closes the door as the officers are heard commenting on the dog's size.
I ain't getting bit by that.
The woman opening the door again, telling the officers the dog is not a danger. But Jameson gets past her. The LAPD alleging the nearly 107-pound Jameson charged at the officer, who then fired 4 shots, killing him. The homeowner distraught, later telling officers those screams the neighbor heard was a celebration of the Knicks winning the NBA championship. That neighbor, who didn't want to be identified, now expressing remorse, speaking exclusively to our station, KABC.
I have a lot of regrets. I did have good intentions, but it didn't turn out the way I thought it would. So I feel guilty. I'm very, very sorry.
Through their attorney, the family sharing a statement, writing in part, "The badge represents a duty to serve and protect. What the public sees in this video is not protection. It is escalation, it is recklessness, and it is a tragedy that never should have happened." The LAPD does have a use of force policy for hostile dog encounters with tactics officers can use before firing their weapon, like voice commands, chemical spray, and kicking. The LAPD vowing a full and transparent investigation. Stephanie.
Such a troubling incident. Jacqueline, thank you. A Tesla driver says his car was on autopilot when it crashed into a Texas home, killing the elderly woman inside. ABC's Allison Kozik has more on the investigation. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning, Stephanie. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says the car left the roadway and slammed through the brick home at a high rate of speed. This morning, new video capturing a Tesla driving through a Texas neighborhood before crashing into this home outside Katy, killing an elderly woman inside. Authorities say this blue Tesla Model 3 caught on a neighbor's doorbell camera was speeding, blew through an intersection and missed a turn, and moments later, the car slamming into the brick front of a home. Inside, a 76-year-old grandmother airlifted to the hospital. She did not survive.
The kids were scared. My mom and my uncles, they were like, it's insane what just happened, especially right in front of us.
A neighbor outside with his family for a birthday party saw it all.
And I just flew straight into their home. It just happened so quick.
The 44-year-old driver allegedly told deputies he was using his car's automated driving system. Deputies say he showed no signs of intoxication and is cooperating. He has not been charged. Now, investigators are working to determine if that technology played a role. Tesla's own safety report claims vehicles using its self-driving system have 7 times fewer crashes, roughly 1 for every 5 to 7 million miles driven, compared to 1 every 660,000 miles for human drivers. But the company stresses it still requires an attentive driver and does not make the car autonomous. And it's not the first incident in Texas. In April, a driver said his Tesla, using its full self-driving technology, suddenly accelerated through this lowered railroad gate in Plano, barely missing that oncoming train. And the federal scrutiny is growing. Safety regulators are now investigating some 3 million Teslas over their self-driving software, recently escalating that probe to the last step before a possible recall. Tesla did not respond to a request for comment. Gio?
All right, Allison, thank you so much for that. And this morning, an urgent investigation is underway in the Dominican Republic to find the cause of that deadly resort fire. Aerial images, look at that, show that massive blaze sweeping through the Viva Wyndham Dominicus resort there in Bayaibe. Emergency crews racing in as tourists fled to safety. It took at least 15 fire crews hours to get the fire under control. The Ministry of Tourism told ABC News nearly 1,700 people had to be evacuated from that resort, including more than 170 children. And of course, one woman died, 46-year-old Francesca Valentino of Italy. Italian newspapers reporting that she was a mother of 2. At least 3 others remain hospitalized.
All right, Gio. New warnings about the dangers of heat this summer. As temperatures rise across the country, officials say 3 people hiking at Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona died within a week from what appears to be heat-related illnesses. Joining us now with how to protect ourselves and all this is ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton. Doctor, always great to see you.
Good morning.
So first, remind us and explain what happens to the body when we're exposed to extreme heat.
Well, heat-related illnesses are increasing, and in terms of patients coming into the emergency room, the numbers are increasing more and more, and it's not just in the emergency room that I work in here in New York City. Across the United States, the rate of heat-related deaths has more than doubled since the 1990s, and again, it's so important not to underestimate the risk of this heat and overestimate your physical limit. What's happening when that temperature rises above 90 degrees, especially when there's humidity, is that causes strain on the body, and this is where risk lies. Kidney injury, heart problems, fainting, worsening chronic illness. These are all conditions that are becoming increasingly more common in the emergency room because of heat.
And doctor, the 3 tragic fatalities that all died in that 1 week were all hikers over the age of 65.
Yes.
So how does age play a factor in increased risk?
Well, age is certainly a risk factor. My patients over the age of 65 during hot summer days are most at risk. As we get older, it becomes more difficult to acclimate to the environment around us. But older adults are not the only people at risk. My patients, children under the age of 5, children are less able to accommodate the heat. They sweat less efficiently. That increases their risk. Pregnant women, those who have chronic medical conditions, and something that's always surprising to many of my patients, certain medications can alter the way that you adjust to the temperature, increasing your risk. Antihistamines, antidepressants, diuretics, or water pills. These are all medications that can increase your risk of complications to the heat.
So give us the tips here, Doc, because we want to go out there and enjoy the summer. It's hot out there. What are the guidelines?
And we should go out, but doing it safely is so important. So number one, when you're paying attention to the weather and you're looking at the forecast, I'm looking at Samara right now, thinking about this, and you're seeing that temperature rise above the degree of 90, that's when you have to pay attention. I'm seeing a lot of numbers on this map above 90 degrees. When that humidity increases, again, that's when the strain increases on your body. Something I'm always talking to about my patients, hydration is key. Adults need about 2 to 3 liters of fluids a day, and the majority are not getting that. And it's not about getting it all at once. You want to make sure to slowly hydrate throughout the day. Of course, protecting your skin. When you see that UV index rise above anything above 6, that's when your risk can increase. And most importantly, checking on your friends, your neighbors, elderly neighbors that can't escape the heat. It gets unreasonably hot in many of these homes and these apartments, especially when there isn't air conditioning or adequate ventilation.
Like you said, got to keep the water bottle nearby. Keep it going throughout the day.
Not one throughout the day.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Doctor.
Well, the Carolina Hurricanes are also heating things up. They brought the Stanley Cup home Saturday, drawing a massive crowd to downtown Raleigh. 150,000 fans packed the streets, turning the city into a sea of red and black, as you can see. Players hoisting the cup high along the parade route there. The team capping off the celebration with a rally and a long-awaited championship party for Canes fans, also known as Caniacs.
There you go, Caniacs.
Caniacs.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Something, yeah.
Absolutely.